Thursday evening in Chicago inside the United Center. Here's the starting lineup for Jerry Sloan's Utah Jazz. Second, Stockton again start on the backcourt. Stockton throttled almost completely in game 3. Big move here. Adam Keefe listed at center. Malone, though, is going to play Longley. They got almost no production from Ostertag, Foster, and Carr, who variously played the center spot in game 3. So Jerry Sloan goes with Adam Keefe, who was suffering from the flu early in the series and in fact didn't play at all in game 1. And his presence was so dynamic on defense, it really didn't matter. And let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. The atmosphere in the Bulls locker room has not changed in the last 3 games. Lose confidence. The only thing that has changed, I don't think that they feel like they're underdogs anymore. Michael Jordan told me that this is a very dangerous game because they have to is concerned. He says that we accept Dennis Rodman with no reservations. Dennis Rodman is family. And you know what? Jim Gray's also family, and he's also down there and getting ready to tell you about Utah.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Well, I was in the Jazz locker room. They are upbeat, they are focused, and they are very motivated and eager for this game tonight. I spoke to Karl Malone. He said that the team's confidence is not shattered at all. In fact, he said the Bulls have forgotten they still have an opponent. They're not taking us seriously. That's a big mistake. Asked Jerry Sloan what he told his team before the game. He said just 2 things. Don't be afraid to take your shots and just go play. Finally, Adam Keefe will start in the lineup tonight. Jerry Sloan says it's because he's more mobile and he's much better in their set offense. Bob?
Thanks very much, Jim. Steve Javie, Jack Neese, and Hugh Evans are the officials. Utah wins the tip. Harper on Stockton. Inside Malone for an easy 2.
Well, that was great execution there, Bob. The front by Luke Longley. Stockton took his time, over the top, easy score. Get your best player going early once again.
Kukoc with Keefe on him. Stockton's got Harper. 6 on the 24. Harper's shot. Can't tie the game. But another offensive rebound. Obviously the first in this game. But it's been a huge part of the story of the whole series. The Jazz have gotten virtually no offensive rebounds. And the Bulls have gotten them by the bushel. Scotty has it slapped away. Kukoc comes up with it. 5 seconds to shoot. Pippen chases it down. They'll have a 3rd chance. And they'll have the lead on Pippen's 3.
Now that's why Chicago is dangerous, that when they get so many opportunities, they have so many good players, and Utah can't afford to let them keep crashing the offensive boards.
Michael gets in front and knocks it away, but Stockton recovers it. Shot clock winding down. Stockton on the run. It spins out. Pippen accelerates. There's a whistle before the shot from Jack Neese.
With speed, they'll be able to penetrate and go by them, and also Chicago will look to exploit their height advantage inside on the post.
Michael backing Hornacek down and missing his first shot, but Pippen to the offensive glass. And there's a Utah foul.
Well, I know right now, Bob, that Jerry Sloan is not a happy man. They've done an excellent job defensively and still be able to win the game.
Stockton's first foul. Jordan from 20 gives it up instead to Harper, gets it back, and lays it in.
See, Michael is so good at giving the ball up, and then he doesn't stand. He immediately cuts to the basket, the give and go, the easy basket for Michael Jordan.
Hornacek's free and connects on the open J.
See, every time Hornacek gets any type of daylight, he must take the shot because he's been hounded by Jordan, and he's not going to get that many good looks.
Kukoc around Keefe. Misses the double pump, and Adam has the rebound. Was able to score on Longley in game 3. It was Rodman who stopped him, and he hits the hook over Longley here.
Now, one of the things the Jazz worked on was getting the ball deep in the post and getting the splitting action from their guards, then letting Malone look to score. They did it on that possession.
And an offensive foul on Chicago. Jordan picks it up. It's his first. by hitting his first three. A little lay-in, a hook, and a baseline jumper.
If Phil Jackson feels like that Longley's going to be soft on him and give him that shot, he'll immediately come in with Rodman.
Which is what he did in game 3. Poked away from Longley, but Michael picks it up. Into the lane he goes and loses it to Russell, but there's a whistle for a Utah foul. Back live, Jordan misses the jumper, but that defense is just devastating.
But they basically locked into Utah sets, and Utah must score and get deeper in the post where Malone is trying to get right now.
Malone with a weak pass picked off by Harper.
He was looking for Stockton, and Stockton got bumped off his cut by Harper. That was a nice play.
Utah leads it by 3. Jordan, pump fake, double pump, and a miss. But somehow he comes up with it. Again, they're all over the offensive glass, and Pippen converts his second 3.
See, when you double team in the post, you leave Chicago open for offensive glass. They double team Jordan that time, and that leaves the weak side offensive player crashing the glass.
Tied at 8. Tie game, but the early trends do not favor Utah except for Malone shooting. Harper with the foul.
Comes up with the basketball once again. Michael Jordan and the Bulls. He finds Scottie Pippen. That's the second time Pippen has been able to square up and shoot the 3 off an offensive rebound.
Stockton bumping with Harper. Hornacek with the jumper. He back rims it. There's an offensive board for the Jazz. Keefe to Hornacek. The floater is an air ball, and Keefe fouls Longley, trying to come up with it.
I say a little adjustment that Utah has made here early. They're trying to get a screen and roll with Malone and Stockton from the top a little bit on the wing and see if he can turn the corner, and if not, then step back and try to rescreen and go back to the middle.
And they just teed up Jerry Sloan.
See, I think that's a good technical if you're Jerry Sloan. You know how important this game is, and you have to bring your fire and energy tonight to your team.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
Well, after that play by Adam Keefe, Jerry Sloan hollered over to Steve Javie. He said, hey, that's an illegal defense. Javie looked over at Jerry Sloan and said, hey, you're right. Jerry Sloan said, if I'm right, why don't you call it? What are you doing out there? And he slapped him with the tee. Bob?
Is it possible, Isaiah and Doug, that the Bulls will be caught in several illegal defenses tonight, or enough will be called to get them out of whatever they're doing? There's a feeling that if they hold the ball, meaning the Jazz, and that they're patient enough, they can expose Pippen perhaps playing an illegal defense. Here's a Utah steal.
But at that time, Scottie Pippen was laying at the free throw line, and the referee didn't know who he was guarding because the weak side, everybody was jammed up over there.
Hornacek missed, but Malone was there with the tip. He scored 8 of Utah's 10 points. The Jazz by 1. Michael's turnaround. He's yet to find the range. Keefe has it. Stockton bounces to Malone, who was fouled as he made his move. Malone will be at the line when we come back. Malone hits the first. After game 3, you got the feeling that all that was left for the Jazz was to put on the blindfolds and ask for a cigarette. But they still trail only 2-1. And if they win this game, suddenly the advantage would shift to them, with 2 of the potential 3 remaining games at the Delta Center. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, it continues with Jerry Sloan during the timeout. He instructed John Stockton to go out and ask the officials after the timeout if, in fact, the officials have changed the defensive guidelines for this game, because he says Scottie Pippen is illegal every time. So he sent instructions. Bob?
Thanks, Jim. Utah got an offensive rebound off Malone's missed free throw, and here's an almost immediate illegal defense warning.
That's why I said that technical, Isaiah, was a good technical. Sometimes you've got to get one just to let the referees know, look, if you're going to let them do that, we're not going to be able to score. They got to play within the guidelines of the defensive rules.
And Doug, I love what John Stockton is doing. He's keeping the ball in the middle of the floor, and he's playing on the right side of the court.
Pippen steps in, picks it off. Kukoc's pass intended for Longley, deflected by Utah, out of bounds. Chicago has it, 13 on the shot clock.
Karl Malone caught that ball in the middle of the floor, and he tried to make the cross-court pass. You saw the quickness of Pippen.
Jordan ties the game. Michael has 5, and he's hit 2 of his first 6. Pippen and Longley guarding Malone. He finds Hornacek. Baseline drive and a bounce to Foster. They love some offense from him. They don't get it here. Rebound Russell. Malone now comes up with it. There's his first miss, but he'll follow. And now Foster. And suddenly it's Utah all over the offensive glass.
Well, Isaiah talked about it today to us, Bob. He said you got to get shots at the basket, and that's what Utah is doing here in the first quarter.
Kukoc out to Harper. Malone's on Longley. Stockton came over and knocked it away. And now Stockton goes out, and Howard Isley replaces him at point guard.
The most important thing for the Jazz is to get the ball up to the glass. Even if you miss, you must get up shot attempts, because with Chicago playing with a thinner lineup, you can crash the boards.
Jordan hammered, and he'll come to the line. And as he gathers himself, we tell you can log on to MSNBCSports.com as NBA Showtime extends its playoff coverage to the internet. Check out Bill Walton's game previews and email him your playoff questions. Plus, click on in-depth video features from NBC Sports. And tomorrow, Zeke, you will be on that website at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific at MSNBCSports.com.
How do I do that again? How do I talk to Isaiah tomorrow, Bob? I got to call and find out what's going on.
That would be MSNBCSports.com.
Okay.
Utah's lead is a single point. Malone out to Hornacek, guarded by Pippen. Karl again, Longley all over him. 4 seconds to shoot. Isley's going to have to get it up there, and it's way off the mark, an air ball, and thus a 24-second violation.
So Karl Malone has gotten off to a good start, but the rest of the Jazz right now is only shooting 2 for 8. The rest of his teammates must get involved and must put some points on the board to help Karl.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
Whistle away from the ball from Steve Javie. When you play Chicago and you have an early lead, but you have the sense that it should be bigger, that you're missing opportunities, that often comes back to haunt you. It's Malone's first. Utah is over the limit, whereas the Bulls have only 2 team fouls with 4:05 remaining in the quarter.
Now, Bob, with a change in the starting lineup for Utah, I have not seen Scottie Pippen roaming around as much, where he's making the big gamble out on the floor as he did against Ostertag. So maybe with the start of Keith, a little bit more concerned that he's going to be able to get around the basket, catch, and finish because he's a little quicker. But they're going to need Ostertag's size here, Isaiah, before the game is over. He must rebound and give him a presence. He's their only shot blocker.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you're Utah. When you make the adjustments offensively, it hurts you defensively because now you can't match up with Chicago's big guards.
Michael has 8. Bulls now lead by 1. Isley in trouble along the sideline. Foster on the run, and Foster contributes a bucket. They'd like to see more of that. Right to Michael. Around Hornacek with the scoop.
Bob, he is so powerful inside. He just punishes you. Hornacek is in good position, but Michael is just too big and quick.
Malone over Longley. Rebound Jordan. Harper. Back tap by Longley, but Isley has it. Circles back out against Michael. for three. Almost hit it, but I don't think that's what they had in mind.
Anytime you hold the ball like that, very seldom will you ever make a shot because you're not in rhythm to shoot the ball.
Utah got to be very careful right here. They can't get seduced into a running game with Chicago.
Kukoc with room.
See, this last 2 minutes and change is going to be vital for Utah, and I think Jerry Sloan knows that. He cannot let the Bulls finish big here. It'll be big problems.
Kukoc's first basket gives Chicago a 3-point lead.
Once again, the world champion.
What a play by Dave Coward. Oh, my goodness. Watching what greatness is all about.
Court, go and double team him early. They put him on the foul line 5 times, and Michael will make you pay from the free throw line.
Isley brings it to the front court. Ostertag in for the first time. Malone gets inside position and brings Utah to within 1.
See, that was nice speed by Isley that time because he kept his dribble, and therefore he was able to make the pass. The last time he picked up his dribble.
Malone averaging 19-7 through 3 games, has 11 here in this first quarter. Kukoc, short. Rebound on a bounce to Ostertag. Again, it's Malone inside. A second try. And this time he'll be coming to the free throw line or not. He traveled. He traveled.
Now, twice, Isaiah, they've been able to lob over the top. The first time, Karl Malone was able to convert, so he was able to seal. And as you said, Isley makes a nice pass over the top, a catch, and the finish. The next time, he has another great opportunity. Once again, the seal. Michael runs by him. Looks like he's got a point-blank layup, but Longley at the last minute changed his shot on it and then forced him into a travel after the offensive rebound.
Behind Longley's screen, Michael misses. Rodman in for the first time, keeps it alive, and Pippen claims it. Scotty. The rebound to Russell.
See, Russell came back to get that rebound. Your guards must rebound. Your big men must block out, and your guards must come back and get those long rebounds.
Isley given room behind Malone's screen. And Utah takes a 19-18 lead.
Bob, that's the split action that I was talking about. Malone stayed in the post. They run the split. That's a staple of their offense. They had gotten away from it because Malone was stepping out on the floor looking to score.
Pippen, his third three-pointer of this first quarter. Isley. Russell tries a three. And Longley clears it. Shot clock and game clock virtually identical.
Normally you see Michael here at the top. It looks like they're going to let Scotty isolate against Hornacek.
It's Harper. Rodman beat the buzzer but missed the shot. After one, Chicago by a basket. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Points on the free throw line, and that'll help him score.
Scotty. Chicago by 4. Pippen has 11. 3 3-pointers, and that hoop to open the second quarter. Michael Jordan watching from the bench as the second period begins. Utah loses it. And naturally, it's Pippen in the vicinity of the ball. A pull-up three. He's got 4 of them.
Tell you what, Scottie Pippen is having a monster series right now.
You could make a case for him to this point as the MVP of the series, even though that sounds like sacrilege anytime Michael Jordan is on your team.
See, what happens is Pippen's coming down in transition and shooting the three. No one's getting up close to him. You got to get up to Scotty. He's shooting the ball too well.
But see, right, Right now he's guarding Ostertag. And when he's guarding Ostertag, he's able to get it off the boards and go up the middle of the floor, and they have a cross match, and they mismatching in the backcourt.
Chicago left Russell alone, and he converted the three. Here's Pippen feeling it and banking it home.
This has got to be very discouraging for Utah. Michael Jordan is resting, and now Scottie Pippen, who's been the one-man wrecking crew on defense, is now doing it on the offensive end.
16 points on 6 of 7 shooting thus far. And Steve Kerr just in, shoves it back in Isley's face. Utah ball from the side, 10 on the shot clock. Here's Chris Morris off the Jazz bench for Russell. The veteran inbounds to Isley. Against Curry, goes into the lane, throws it up, lefty no good. The rebound is taken by Pippen. He seems to be everywhere. Great feed to Burrell, tipped by Rodman. They don't get the two, but Scottie is all over this game. Morris, head fake, open, cans it.
See, the minute that Ostertag came into the game, Scottie Pippen now once again is roaming around that middle. He forced Isley to miss the layup on the last possession.
Chicago by 4. Kerr, head of the key, won't go. He hit a pair of late threes in the fourth quarter in game 3, hoping to get on track. Misses his first one here. And a Chicago foul. Looks like Kukoc. And that's his first.
Isaiah, one of the things Scottie Pippen loves to do is dribble the ball down the floor, and if you back off, he loves to shoot that three in rhythm. It's been there tonight. He's got 4 of them. And then the bank shot. When you're shooting the ball well, your confidence is so high, and Scottie loves to shoot the ball on the angle. He kisses it off the glass, the medium range jumper, and Scottie Pippen has his signature all over this game tonight. Are you going to follow it up with a graphic?
Courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. This year, Goodyear is celebrating its 100th anniversary and 73rd consecutive year for its blimp operations.
Scorers getting their shots. Well, Scottie Pippen is getting his shots tonight. And so is Michael Jordan. He steps out and hits the jump shot. Then it's Tony Kukoc's turn. So all 3 of the big 3 scorers involved here early in this basketball game. And on the other hand, for Utah, you see only Karl Malone with 11. Hornacek and Stockton have only combined for 2 points. That spells trouble as this night goes along, Isaiah.
Yeah, I think the point guards for Utah must play well and must shoot the ball well. They got to get into the lane and penetrate and create some easy opportunities. You remember in game 1, they combined for 32 points and 18 assists, and they got to recreate that here tonight.
Greg Foster comes in for Ostertag. Malone for the moment, joining Stockton on the Utah bench. Jordan back in for Chicago.
Have to keep our eye on this Jazz lineup right now without Malone on the floor. They've got to get some scoring. Normally they go to Shandon Anderson on the block.
There he is. Bounces it out to Foster, who gives it up to Morris. Now it's Foster coming up short. Antoine Carr claims the offensive rebound. Underneath Anderson. McCatchen shot, but he can't hit it. Ugly possession for Utah.
Looked to me like passed up about 3 shots and ended up getting a terrible one.
Pippen finally misses on a 3. He had hit 4 straight prior to that. Morris misses a 3 at the other end. Foster knocked it out of bounds. Jerry Sloan, just 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the second quarter, has used 11 players. All but Jacques Vaughn, the rookie reserve guard who almost never plays, have been in the game already.
He also told his team, you're not even close to Pippen to foul him right now. You've got to get up on him. Scottie's running wherever he wants to go.
Burrell from Scottie. The rebound to Anderson.
Now Pippen came down and took a long 3 the last time down. I think he's setting up Foster and Antoine Carr. Look for him next time to drive it to the basket.
Carr The veteran misses the 20-footer. Loose ball saved in by Burrell. Intercepted by Anderson, cutting in front of Kerr, who pushes and fouls him. And Anderson will come to the line.
See, I like the unit that Utah has on the floor right now because they have playmakers. And Morris, you got Stockton coming back into the game, Anderson, Foster, Carr. Every time one of those guys catch the ball, Doug, they can do something with it. They can make a shot, so therefore you have to honor them.
Well, that's why you have to maybe go to a smaller lineup. Now, you compromise your rebounding, Isaiah, no question, but Chicago is so good at rotating defensively. When you throw that ball out of the double team, someone's got to make a play. You can't throw it to somebody who's just going to hold it and now let them get back to their people.
Pippen with 16 points goes to the bench. Kukoc back in. Kukoc from Kerr. And it's Chicago by 4. Rodman on Carr. Anderson, baseline. And it'll go against Utah on the offensive foul. Anderson's first.
Well, they run the split again, and Shandon Anderson has the jump shot, but he doesn't trust himself. He comes off wide open right there, and he's going to try to drive it into traffic. You've got to shoot the open jump shot. Chicago does a great job collapsing on the basketball. Scottie Pippen took 4 charges himself in Game 3.
Kukoc to Rodman. Dennis was fouled.
And for John Stockton at his age, that's crucial. Now he's got to come back into the game and assert himself again, keep the ball in the middle of the floor, and keep attacking.
Well, Isaiah, as important as this game is right now, Jerry Sloan is only going to be able to rest Malone just a few minutes. He's going to have to get him back on the floor because everything on their offense goes through him. And I'm with you. Stockton has got to shoot the ball.
That was the first point by any Bull other than Pippen, Jordan, or Kukoc. The Rodman free throw makes it 31-26. Carr from Stockton, spinning into the lane, finding Keefe, and now Anderson, who misses the 3. Tip to Keefe, who's fouled by Kukoc. That's 2 on Tony. And you're watching the NBA on NBC. Of 6 on threes tonight, and 9 of 36 from beyond the arc in the series. 7 of those 47 to play in the first half. 1 of 2 for Keefe, and Burrell takes the rebound.
You can see what's happened though. Utah's matched the small lineup up with the Chicago, so both teams really are going small with Longley out of the game.
Malone heading for the scorer's table. Morris fouls Jordan.
Yeah, the only problem with
Kerr open for 3. Jordan runs it down.
Chris Morris down in the middle of the floor.
Morris is down and hurt. The ball finally out of bounds. It'll belong to Utah. And now they can attend to Morris.
When Jordan went up for that offense.
10 now. Watch it hit Morris in the face when he comes down with it. Right there, inadvertent. And you know what? With all the flailing arms and elbows in basketball, I'm surprised there's not more eye injuries.
Well, I think that's why Kareem started wearing goggles.
Of his right eye. They're trying to get it open right now. It seems like it's closed and he's afraid to open it. They're going to attend to him. When we have more, we'll get it to you, Bob.
Thanks, Jim. Here's Stockton with a lunging jumper that's good.
Now, see, that was great because they got Stockton on the right side of the court, and he's able to get to his right hand so he can free up that shot. They got to keep Stockton on the right side of the court.
Burrell fires. And the rebound comes to Anderson. Stockton pulls up and misses the 3, but Malone takes the rebound.
That's okay. It's a good opportunity. You got a good look at a 3. You get the offensive rebound. Now you can run a set play. Go right back to that right screen and roll again with Stockton.
To Malone for the jumper. They ran it perfectly, but Malone shot it poorly. Loose ball scramble won by Keith, who puts it back in.
See, I think Utah feeds off Stockton's play. When he plays well, they get aggressive, and offensively, he must assert himself and keep asserting himself.
Kerr can't snap the tie, and Anderson skies for the rebound. But Steve Kerr continues to search for his shooting touch. Stockton on the move, banks it in, and Utah takes the lead. Suddenly, Stockton asserting himself here.
Against Steve Kerr. Now, Phil Jackson will probably come back quickly with Ron Harper because that's when Stockton had the most success against Kerr in Utah.
Jordan is fouled before the shot. Utah's on a 7-0 run. Report on Chris Morris, slight scratch on his right eyeball. Is anything on your eyeball slight? But they say he should be able to return. Jordan pull-up. Pippen the rebound. Scottie Pippen has owned this first half in several phases of play. On the glass, defensively, and he scored 16. Here he is against Hornacek. Feeding Harper. And Anderson is up on the glass again.
Let's see if Stockton tries to attack once again in the open floor.
Around Harper. Missed it this time, but he is being as aggressive as possible. Malone is on Longley, giving away several inches. Reaching in, trying to tie him up. And he knocks it away and steals it. And there's a foul called on Longley as he tries to take it back, his first.
See, the worst thing you can do as a big man is get that ball below your waist. And when you get it below your waist, you're down there in vulture territory. That's where everybody can take a swipe at it. You see Malone?
He's taken one shot in 29 minutes. He's taken 4 shots in about the last 5 possessions. He's hit 2 of them. Now he's at the free throw line. So what he's done, by him getting aggressive, they've gone from 31 to 26 down. They now lead 34-31 with a chance to go up 4.
He makes 1 of 2. Nonetheless, Utah's on an 8-0 run and leading by 3. Anderson tries his luck on Jordan. Pass to Harper. Reverse. Ron's first basket. He played a terrific game in Game 3. Could have had a triple-double had they played him any minutes at all in the fourth quarter. Malone from Anderson over Longley. Spins out, and Harper claims it. No luck on that shot for Carl. Chicago looks to reclaim the lead. Pippen looking for Michael. Shot clock down to 5. Now it's Harper. Rodman saves it. Pippen grabs it. Michael. Over Anderson, who blocks it on him. Pippen picks it up. Shandon Anderson with the block on Michael Jordan. Pippen's turnaround. Misses it badly. It comes to Michael, and he finishes it.
That just so dispirituous a team, Isaiah. You're playing great defense, and you just can't come up with a rebound.
They're just too big for the guards out there, Doug. Every time you miss a shot, you block out, but they just go right over top of you.
A whistle from Steve Javie for a Chicago foul, and it's Hornacek, an excellent free throw shooter, ties the game.
10-2 spurt to break the game from 10 to 18. That was a crushing blow they never recovered from. Utah right now must stand tall here in this last 27. They've had an excellent first half.
Well, remember, these teams have played a dozen or so games over the last 2 years, regular season and twice in the finals. And the game that's the aberration is game 3. Most of the games have been close. Utah's had a chance to win most of the games, and they've won a fair share of them. From 20, it's Michael. Finally finding the range on his jumper, which hasn't been there for the most part in this first half.
After Karl Malone's 4 for 4 start, he's 1 out of his last 6 shots. But the good thing about it is, Bob, he's shooting the basketball. That's important because then you can get some offensive rebounds. They have 11 second shots.
When he only takes 11 shots, even sitting out the fourth quarter, you know your offense is out of sync. That's what happened in game 3. Stockton against Kukoc. A wild shot disappears behind the backboard.
And who was there to chase him off the shot? Scottie Pippen. He's on the weak side, and he's always going to read when he can come over and give help. And Isaiah, he pushed to the right hand. Tony Kukoc got help by Scottie Pippen.
See, Stockton was to drive around him. There wasn't enough space or enough room.
Pippen. Out to Kerr. Anderson up on Michael. Showing him a bit of everything. Now backing him in for the turnaround. Doesn't get the roll. And a loose ball foul is called on the Bulls. It's Rodman's first. And Chicago's over the limit. Tomorrow night on NBC, must-see TV Thursday begins with Friends.
Must play. Slow the game down, get to the free throw line, and not let Chicago get into a run-and-gun type of basketball.
They've got enough shots at the basket. They've made a conscious effort to get some second shots. So both teams have feasted on the offensive boards here in the first half.
Tied at 37. Jordan walks it out of the backcourt. Russell fouls him intentionally, leaving them with 3.9 seconds after they inbound. That's one on.
Throw to the weak side, let him catch and isolate, and look for the quick shot.
Kukoc for Michael against Russell. Up and under, and 2 to end the half, as only he can. Well, it's only a 2-point difference. And Utah played an entirely different first half than they did a few nights ago. And yet that's not the kind of exclamation point you hope for if you're Jerry Sloan.
That's the old play that Chicago likes to run. Get it to Michael. Michael, do what you do best. Be Houdini. Get out of that trap and get us 2 points and give us a 2-point lead going in.
Jordan and Pippen each with 16 first-half points. After these messages, we'll hear from Chicago's witnesses to history, the 4 Bulls looking for their 3rd NBA title with Chicago. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Treat like this like it's the last game of the season. There is no fallback game. They can't say we
5, but what I like about Karl Malone is that he's scoring inside. He started inside, he drifted a little bit outside. He's got to get
Rashad back at the United Center where the Bulls lead the Jazz at half by 2 points. Phil Jackson told his team at halftime that they've got to try to force more turnovers. They didn't try to score off the turnovers. They also, too many offensive rebounds. They got to
Intend to win. Bob?
Jim thanks. In addition to disrupting Utah defensively himself, Pippen scored 16 in the first half, as did Michael. Scottie double team, dishes off to Harper, knocked away from him, 3 on the shot clock. It's Pippen, can't pick up the left off, out of bounds, touched last by Longley.
You saw immediately John Stockton double back and forced Pippen to take a very difficult shot. Harper's got to come to the open area.
Malone got it.
And Malone came off that little screen and he set right in the post. When he didn't get it, he just moved out 2 more feet. Stockton delivered it and he turned it around for the post-up J.
13 for Malone. Tied at 39. And Michael is fouled.
See, Isaiah, I think that Phil's going to have to be a little concerned
For a second. He's got to do that with Dennis also, and he's got to keep Dennis on his back. Can't let Dennis circle around him.
Michael's numbers through the first 3 sat out the entire fourth quarter of game 3. You know, he played more minutes this season than any year since 1990, partly because Scottie Pippen missed nearly 40 games at the start of the season. And all of his numbers, although he was still the MVP and the scoring champion, all of his numbers were down at least slightly. Keith has it blocked. Harper scoops it up. Poked away from him from behind by Stockton. Now Hornacek on the run, and the bank is closed. Pippen grabs it. Scottie for three.
I think the Bulls have to be careful. They're starting to shoot an awful lot of threes in this game, too. When they get the ball inside, they can post Michael at any time, and then you can kick it inside, outside to get that three.
Keith from Hornacek. Can't convert. Jordan takes the rebound.
Scottie will give him that shot all day, Bob.
Pippen, by the way, has missed his last 5 shots, cooling off a bit. Into the lane, got it. His second basket, he scored 4. Utah's back to within 1 as Carl has 15.
You got to have great pressure on the basketball. That will help take away that lob. Isaiah, you know as a passer, if a guy's going to play you soft and they're going to front, there is no weak side help.
And the key was Stockton setting that screen. You see him hang up lonely, and then Pippen has to watch Stockton. You got to be conscious of Stockton. You can't leave him now because he's aggressive. That leaves Malone wide.
Draft presents even more basketball.
All right, we talk about adjustments. What have they done? He's going to come off a staggered double. Now, watch what happens. It keeps Scottie Pippen involved in the play so that he has to be worried now about Hornacek coming off. Now there is no help on the weak side, so they throw over and get the easy basket. So you talk about adjustments. That's one that you do when you watch tape.
And Malone has been able to take advantage as we look at his shot chart. In recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Now here's the bad news for Utah, although they trail by only 1. Malone has 15. No teammate has more than the 5 scored by Stockton.
And honor his drive.
Pippen to Michael, spins into the lane and slams it.
You can't dive for the steal, not on Michael Jordan. If you're going to go for that steal, you better be 100% sure you're going to get it, because if not, what you give up is the dunk.
With Pippen now bogging down offensively for a bit, Jordan is the game's high man with 19. Malone stamping through the lane and hitting the hook as he gets the roll.
Isaiah Luka just cannot handle him tonight. Malone is either stepping out and shooting it, or he's taking it by him with his quickness. Look for Rodman to get in here early.
Pippen, the head fake on Hornacek, and he connects on the jumper. His first after 5 consecutive misses. Russell from Malone, bumped by Kukoc.
Now you watch Michael Jordan coming into the post. The little brush screen sets in deep. Russell goes for the steal, and you can't do that against Jordan. And you look at Malone must do against Rodman when he comes into the game also.
Kukoc picked up his 3rd.
Dennis Rodman coming back out, so chances are Phil Jackson's going to put him right into the game. I don't think you're going to see him sitting over there on that bench very long.
See, Karl Malone right now has scored 17 points, but they've all come against Luke Longley. He's got to get some confidence against Rodman.
Russell hits them both, a 1-point game again. Kukoc over Keith. Michael takes it and goes to work on Stockton. Hit the side of the backboard with that one. And Malone takes it out of there. Karl again. Not this time. Rebound Scotty. Longley. Poking at it. No basket. Jump ball.
Well, Luke got away with the walk. They're going to give him a jump ball, but he got caught trying to come with that left hand, and Isaiah.
Again. Longley at 7-2 wins the tip over the 6'9 Malone. Here is Harper. And Kukoc, the beneficiary of his pass. I took it for granted that Malone was going to jump center on the play, and they actually put Stockton in there to jump. So the tip going to Longley was a foregone conclusion.
See, Harper's forcing Stockton to that left side of the court again. And he delivers right there with the pass. But Stockton's got to get back to working the right side so he can keep his right hand free so he can make cleaner passes.
A whistle from Hugh Evans. And now Rodman comes in as Hornacek is hit with his second.
To throw the basketball if your point guard, throw it right by his ear.
Jordan with a little bit of breathing room, but his jumper is short. Rodman battling for the rebound, wresting it away, giving Michael a second chance. This one's also way off.
Adam Keefe has been a very positive factor for this team tonight. His hustle, his energy, he's done a nice job.
Russell into the lane, lays it up. No, Keefe with the tip. But there's a whistle.
Bad job of mixing that up tonight.
You got to slow it down. You got to slow down the game. In the first half, the fast break points for both teams combined was 2, and that was Utah. Utah scored 2 points. Chicago didn't have any fast break points.
Russell comes up empty at the line. It remains a 1-point Chicago lead. He won't stop shooting, and they'll bring him to the foul line. Hornacek, in disgust, raises his hand for foul number 3. A rematch of last year's championship game as Rebecca Lobo and the New York Liberty take on MVP Cynthia Cooper and the champion Houston Comets. Then Sunday at 4.
Come a game like this when it's a half-court game and you're limited in your opportunities, you got to make free throws. Michael steps up. He makes 2 to give him a 3-point lead. Russell misses 2 free throws. That's a 3-point swing. Yet a chance to take the lead.
With Stockton on the bench, Hornacek pounded in the backcourt, gets it out to Malone, and now Isley. Malone inside, blew the layup, and a loose ball foul goes against Utah.
Let's keep our eye on this period of time. 2 missed free throws and a missed layup.
You see, now they're attacking again.
And here is Pippen. Does the game turn here?
Well, that's an 8-point swing. You've missed 2 free throws and a layup, and you've given up a layup and 2 free throws.
20 for Pippen. 21 for Michael. Malone's pass for Keefe is off his hands, and they lose it. Pippen from Michael, fouled by Keefe. That pass almost looked like sleight of hand. Now you see it, now you don't. Boom, it's gone.
See, this is the type of game. Watch Jordan with the no-look pass, right to Pippen cutting down the lane. Tom must slow it down, walk the game down, get it to Malone inside.
Shot themselves in the foot because they missed the free throws and the layups. They've got to convert those opportunities.
They only trail by 6, but the game may be hanging in the balance here, and Sloan knows it. Utah stops the clock with 4:59 to play in the third.
Patience, poise, toughness, every loose ball, execute. We can't get this into the fourth quarter down 6 or 8. We've only scored 36 points in the last 3 fourth quarters. Now is our time.
Crowd more into it than they have been all night. Harper on Isley. It's Malone through the lane. And silencing that crowd just a bit.
See, Scottie Pippen is upset at Tony Kukoc because he had an opportunity to step in there and take a charge, and he didn't throw his body in there.
Pippen out to Michael. Cross court to Kukoc, who's open. Up and over the glass as it caroms off the rim, and Utah will have
Aggressive enough to step up and make it.
Harper fouled Isley. That's the third. It's Harper's third foul individually, too. Malone gives it back to Isley. He finds Hornacek, who spins around Jordan and misses. Rodman skies for the rebound.
Jordan wants it in the low post against Hornacek.
He's got it. And he's got the hoop. 23 for him. And it's back to 6. Here's Malone just beating the shot clock and missing. Kukoc touched it last, though, and Utah gets it back.
Isaiah, what you talked about, Karl Malone has got to start attacking Rodman. He gets off to a good rhythm. Rodman comes into the game. He's got to put the pressure on him. He's got to make Rodman play him.
See, right now, Rodman has baited him out into that high post area. He must get down in low and not look for the jump shot.
Russell from Isley over Kukoc. Got it.
That's a huge shot.
It's a 2-point bucket. He was just inside the line. 55-51 Bulls. Foster up on Kukoc. Harper from Scottie. A whistle before the shot. But Utah's over the...
Oh, well, and it's hurt Utah.
See, I think Utah has done an excellent job of taking one of the big three for Chicago out of the game. Kukoc has not had the big offensive night. And normally Jordan, Pippen, and...
Then he came back and, as you may recall, was a member of the world champion Florida Marlins only last October. Dateline Friday at 8, 7 Central, except on the West Coast, where you'll see Dateline after NBA Final Game 5. And Rodman picks up his second personal.
This is why your guards have to rebound. This is a long rebound. Brian Russell does a great job of going to the boards.
Fourth team foul on Chicago, so with their next one, they'll join Utah over the limit. It's broken up and stolen by Jordan. Ahead to Harper. Rodman fills the lane, but misses the layup. Climbing all over Malone, who sheds him. And back comes Utah.
Bob, Karl Malone has 12 turnovers in the last 5.5 quarters. He's got to take care of the ball, make good passes.
Isley with the floater.
See, that's where Isley is better at than Stockton, going down the lane, finishing with that high floater with the left hand.
That's called younger legs.
Pippen behind Rodman's screen. He unleashes it and misses it rather badly. Isley chases it down on a bounce.
Michael's waiting back here. Somebody's going to get back with him. If they miss, they'll throw long to him for a shot.
Russell was open as they were playing 5-on-4, but it rattled out. Then he retreats and intercepts the pass intended for Jordan.
Doug, at the end of the game, I'd rather have Stockton's old legs and old head than those young legs and that young head.
Speaking of Isley, his floater again. This one gets nothing but air. And Utah's going to keep it off Chicago. The Jazz aren't exactly putting on an offensive exhibition here, but they do have 53 points after scoring 54 in all of Game 3. Michael's going to go out for the last minute 14 of the period. 5 seconds to shoot. Isley got to get rid of it. Rebound to Rodman. Making sure everyone knows he's in the house. 10 boards for him. Burrell from Rodman. Count the bucket and bring him to the line.
If you're Chris Morris right now, you can't afford to foul that soft. If you're going to foul, you got to wrap him up and not let him get the shot off. You see Burrell comes off, Morris goes up. If you're going to foul him, foul him. Don't let him get that right arm up to get the shot off. Now he's got the chance for the possible three-point play.
Which he doesn't convert as Morris moves in for the rebound.
See if they look for a 2-for-1 here. Try to get 2 to the last one shot for Chicago.
Isley behind the back line corner, and he was fouled.
It's good strategy there, Isaiah. Break him down.
Big free throws for Isley. The first of which is good.
This is the type of pace that they want to play at. Now you must sustain that over the next period.
A former member of the Rockford Lightning of the CBA, a guy who was cut by Utah once before they brought him back, plus Minnesota and the Spurs now playing in the finals. Howard Isley makes them both.
Pippen looked for a quick 2-for-1 and he hits the 3, Bob.
Man, oh man. Upping the lead to 6.
Boy, how you end quarters in the NBA is so important.
Michael ended the half by beating the buzzer with an up and under move that snapped the tie and gave Chicago a 2-point lead at intermission. Big 3 just before the end of the third quarter now by Pippen. Isley, can he answer? Yes, he can. With 7.8 on the clock. Harper looking for a long pass, but Utah regroups defensively.
You got to switch on Pippen here, Bob.
Off to Harper, who juggles it, and that ends the period. So with 12 minutes remaining in regulation, Chicago leads it 61-57. And we're back after these words from your local station. So as good as the defense is through the first 3, it tightens further in the fourth. Malone. Rattles in and out on him. No luck there. Burrell from Rodman. Off the back of it. And the rebound is tipped to Malone.
See, no shot blockers in the game right now for Chicago. Malone has got to drive that ball to the basket. Don't settle for that jump shot.
Jordan still on the Chicago bench at the outset of the fourth. Russell swings it to Morris. Burrell lost it, but a foul over the back. It's Shandon Anderson.
Cannot fall in love with that outside jump shot, and that's what Utah has done the first 2 possessions, Isaiah. You've got a chance to cut it to 4. Karl Malone shoots a jumper, and then Chris Morris follows it with a 3. You've had success going to the basket. You got to keep doing it.
As Anderson picks up his 3rd foul, Rodman is limping just a little bit. Here is Pippen isolated on Russell, who knocked it away from him, but a foul.
Force the action. He can't settle for the outside jump shot.
But Phil Jackson says, I'm not going to allow Utah to get into any kind of rhythm. We've had them struggling every fourth quarter. We're not going to let them get off the hook tonight.
And if I'm Karl Malone right now, this is when I step up and demand the basketball inside.
Comes out and screens high, then gets it back and misses the jumper. And Michael, fresh off the rest, grabs the rebound.
He's 0 for 3 right now, and they're all from outside. I thought he had a direct line to the post, but he went and set the pick-and-roll screen.
Michael, ready to work. Got it. Remember, he was able to rest the entire fourth quarter of Game 3, then had 2 days off. There was a practice mixed in, but 2 days off without having to play. And they were off days at home instead of on the road, so he should be fresh. or at least as fresh as a guy can be at age 35, playing his 101st game of the season. Malone fouled by Rodman, it appeared.
There you go, big fella. Now you watch Michael Jordan come behind the screen, peekaboo, knocked off by 2 screens, steps up, lines it up to Jay, knocks it right in. And that's how aggressive Malone must be on the other end with the basketball. You knew when Jordan got the basketball, he wasn't going to pass it at all. He's going to keep it and hold on to it. Hopefully when Malone gets some rest, he'll come back in and assert himself more in this game.
Malone sits for the moment, replaced by Antoine Carr. Rodman also to the Chicago bench. Isley misfires on a 3, out of bounds to Chicago.
In the fourth quarter, the scary thing is you're down 7, and you've only scored 20 points once in the last 8 quarters. Your defense is going to have to really suck it up here and win this game for you.
And Doug, if I'm John Stockton right now, I walk up and I take control of this game and I grab all my guys and say, hey, no more bad shots, take only good shots and take the ball to the rack.
Stockton back in the game for Utah. Anderson against Jordan, pops it over him and comes up short. Malone, who was the only Jazz player in double figures in the Game 3 debacle, is still the only Jazz player in double figures here tonight. Isley is closest with 8, and they turn it over. On Scotty. 5 on the shot clock. Longley traveled with it, and they were about to be hit with a 24-second violation anyway.
See, Bob, that's not Luke Longley's fault. Get me back in the game. We cannot lose this game.
Stockton bounces to Carr, open, and hits. First field goal of the 4th after nearly 3.5 minutes for Utah. They still trail by only 5.
Scottie Pippen wants the ball in the post.
Kerr gets it to him. Knocked away by Morris, but a foul. That's 3 on BC stations. Your local news, then The Tonight Show. And for those of you who want to continue with coverage of the NBA Finals, switch over to the cable side and CNBC for post-game interviews and commentaries.
See, with Scotty in the last 4 to 5 minutes will be fresh, and that'll be tough for Utah to defend Jordan and Pippen in that low post. It's a dangerous time for Utah right here, Doug.
They trail by 7. Stockton double team. Finds the open man. And Chris Morris connects on a 2 out of the corner.
So Utah's getting trapped. They're throwing the ball at the top, and they're throwing it right back where it came from. You got to look to the weak side, Antoine Carr, when you get trapped on that strong side.
Morris comes over to help Anderson with Jordan, and Longley is the recipient of the pass, misses inside, and then is fouled as he tries to go up again.
Now Michael Jordan.
Longley, an exceptionally good free throw shooter for a man his size. Hits the first.
Time. It's the biggest 7:45 of he and John Stockton's career right now, Bob. They cannot let this go 3-1 with the Bulls look at an elimination game on Friday.
And as soon as Malone comes back in, Rodman pops up off the Chicago bench, and they'll get him in to play Malone. They can't bring him in right away because Longley was at the free throw line, but at the next whistle, Luke will go out and Dennis will come in. Stockton with a good pass to Anderson, and this could be a 3-point play.
Now that's leadership of John Stockton. Come into the game, settle your team down, Make them take good shots, make them execute, and sustain your concentration. Stay within what you do. This is Utah. Backdoor cuts. This is what we do. This is who we are. We're going to win this game or lose this game, staying in the character of the Utah Jazz.
Rodman now for Longley. Kukoc for Burrell. With 7:33 to play in the game, and Anderson with a chance now to draw Utah to within 4. Three-point play.
Utah's already committed 14 fouls, so if Chicago will keep attacking the basket, they'll shoot on the next one.
The Bulls have only 2 team fouls. Michael, pull up. Misses it. Stockton as they look to cut it to 2. Pippen blocked it. Offensive foul before that. It's Stockton's second.
He loves that little move where he jumps into the defender. That time Steve Javie spotted it. Called Steve Kerr with the off arm.
Jordan threw it away, looking for Pippen. On the turnover, Utah gets it back. Somehow they hang in. Of the 2 other members of the big 3 for Utah besides Malone had to step up offensively. Neither has. Stockton does have 8 assists to go with his 5 points. Hornacek has scored only 4, and he shot poorly. Stockton now with 7 as he was left alone at the foul line. Kerr slipped, and now he's limping.
He got buried by Malone's screen, Bob. He came over and just drilled him, dropped him to his knees. I think he caught him right in the thigh.
In a dilemma for Phil Jackson right now. Do you stay with Kerr for offense, or do you bring Harper in right now to shut down Stockton for defense?
It's a 2-point game, and it stays there as Pippen misses, but Rodman chases it down. And he's fouled as they reach in on him. Now the Worm is a poor free throw shooter.
It's a pet play of Utah going over. You see Stockton coming off, and Malone looks like he caught Kerr right in the thigh with the knee. I don't think this is a bad foul. That's the 15th foul, so Rodman is shooting 2 free throws. So I don't know whether Utah realized that and took the foul and said, you got to make a couple.
All right, Bob, during that last timeout, Jerry Sloan looked at his guys. He said, hey, this game is ours. We can take this game. It boils down to simple execution. Don't get fancy. Do all the things that we've done all year long to put ourselves in this position, and we can win this game. Bob?
Gets the bounce on the second one. A 55% free throw shooter. He's able to tack on a point. 69-66 Chicago. Harper dives for it with Stockton. And it's wrong and comes away with it.
Well, Harper makes his presence felt. The first possession, he forces a turnover.
That's just great defense by Ron Harper.
Jordan around Morris, and Malone fouls him.
Now you watch Harper defending Stockton. What Stockton must do, Doug, is stay on the right side of the court so he can have his right hand free, so he can make passes and he can get shots. Can't let Harper influence him to the left side where he can use his size and his strength.
With the exception of Game 3, where he shot 7 of 14, Jordan continues to need many shots to get his points, and here he misses both free throws. He's just 9 of 22 from the floor. He has 25 points. Pippen leads Chicago with 27. And Hugh Evans blows his whistle.
See, Isaiah, they're actually running a set play.
Anderson from Malone lays it in after Harper's 4th foul. Gave Utah the ball on the side, and it's a 1-point game with 5:25 remaining. Anderson going for the steal, knocks it away from Jordan.
A bit more aggressive, starting to gamble a little bit more because he feels that he has Jordan's number right now.
We'll see about that. Jordan on the dribble. Kukoc is open, but it's short. and Stockton takes the rebound away from him. To Morris on the run. Utah claims the lead.
No time for celebration now. You got to get back and dig in. It's a 5-minute game. Your season's on the line.
Michael gets the lead back for Chicago. Bumped by Harper. Now John into the lane to the basket and missing it rather badly. Rodman pulls it down. A nice move to slice through the defense, but he couldn't finish.
Now you remember that rest period that Michael Jordan had. Let's see if he can take it on down the stretch.
Harper missing off the glass, but a Utah foul. It's on Stockton, his third.
Shooting 2 free throws to try to push it back to 3.
If Utah wins this, suddenly, after all the talk of doom and gloom following Game 3, if anything, you'd think, though it would be tied at 2 in that scenario, they would have the small edge in the series with potentially 2 of the remaining 3 at home. But if Chicago wins it tonight, then Utah is set up for the kill 48 hours later in Game 5 at the United Center. That's how much is riding on the next 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Out to Stockton, whose 3 won't go.
That was a great shot, though. They ran the split, and Stockton is an excellent three-point shooter. You got to take that shot.
Utah 1 of 11 on threes tonight. Michael Anderson alone on him. Jumper over him. Won't go. Rebound Malone. Again, they can tie or take the lead with a 3. It's Hornacek to the basket, and it's a brand new game with 3:15 left.
And that was because of Karl Malone sealed Dennis Rodman, ran the lane, pinned Rodman under the basket, freed up the open shot for Hornacek.
Now Stockton's going to roam, Bob, so Harper will be the open man in a lot of situations here.
Scotty for 3. Rodman is there, and Anderson fouled him, which is not what Dennis wanted. You could see by the expression on his face, he would rather have been able to kick it back out and start the offense over rather than take it.
Has inside position. He allows Rodman to walk him underneath the basket, get the rebound, and said, right now it's my time to lead my team to a win tonight, and even this.
But don't be surprised if Dennis Rodman steps up to the line and knock these free throws down, because that's the kind of guy that he is. Under pressure, he loves the pressure, and he loves this time of the game, and it wouldn't surprise if he walked up there and made one of them.
Well, the gods were with him on that.
You'd think he was in Las Vegas with that bounce. I thought that's only when he was in Utah that he went to Vegas. What a bounce he got there.
He rolls the dice again and makes them both.
Who needs practice?
That's how he is, Doug. Under pressure situations, he comes through.
Stockton. Harper on him. The pass from Morris in the lane against Pippen, who fouled him.
See, Stockton is doing a much better job, Bob. As Pippen is running around, Stockton is stringing to that if they're going to run off with Pippen.
The pressure shifts to Morris, and the veteran hits the first.
Done.
He's a 72% free throw shooter for the season. And it spills off. Rodman takes down his 14th rebound. Who's done a good job defensively on Jordan. Michael tests him again, and this time gets the hoop. Remember, Anderson's playing with 5 fouls. Burrell.
See, with Steve Kerr in the game, Stockton is so afraid to leave, he allowed Michael Jordan to get the layup. Now you're going to go offensive, defensive substitution. Harper in for Kerr.
1:58 on the game clock, 11 on the shot clock. Into Morris for the dunk as Jordan got there late. Again, a one-point game. Jordan, Patterson leaning on him. Michael spins and scores.
Bob, you got to run at him. Right now, they got two guys on the floor, Harper, Burrell. You got to make somebody else make a shot right now.
Here's Stockton, looking for help. Sandwiched by two defenders. Finds a wide open Morris, who shoots it long. And a loose ball foul on the Jazz. Well, Morris had a wide open three that could have tied the game.
Now
And perhaps game 4 turns on that.
You watch Jordan being guarded by Anderson, who has 5 fouls. Can't really play him that deep. Jordan gets so deep, and then he gets deep again. If you let Michael beat you, he will. Somebody's got to come and help Doug. You got to bring size on the double team, and you got to take the chances on Harper right now with the outside jump shot.
On Hornacek's 4th foul, Pippen goes to the line and misses.
He just fought it loose and got him a wide open shot that would have tied the game.
Karl Malone's got to step up right now, demand the basketball. Hasn't taken a shot in the last 3 minutes. This has to be his time.
Russell's in for Morris. Utah trails by 4. Stockton to the basket. Knocked away from him, but it comes to Hornacek, who hits. It's a two-pointer. A minute to play.
Bob, Phil Jackson's going to take a timeout here, and I think the reason why he wants to get his offensive team on the floor right now. He wants another shooter. Well, the damage that Karl Malone has done has been against Luke Longley. So he's going to, just what I thought. Phil Jackson during the timeout is coming in with Steve Kerr and Kukoc, because you know what's going to happen, Bob? You now have to double team Michael Jordan. You say, you know what? We can't let this guy just waltz in and get another layup. So look for either Steve Kerr or Kukoc to have a three-point shot, and Rodman on the offensive boards.
Utah has 3 timeouts and a 20 remain. And if they win a 3rd in a row, he's been a huge part of all of it. He makes them both. A 55% free throw shooter who has canned 4 crucial ones in the last couple of minutes.
Tough call to have to make. You're going to watch Malone and Rodman. They both got each other wrapped up. Look at this. Who do you call that foul on? And that's a tough call to have to make as they both go for the ball. I guess they ruled that after the play sort of broke loose there, that Malone kept on him and pulled him down. But Rodman steps up and makes 2 crucial free throws.
So instead of trailing by 2 and heading up court with the ball, now after the timeout, Utah inbounds, down by 4. Malone screens for Stockton. John to the basket off the baseline, misses the reverse. Loose ball, knocked around and picked up by Harper. Here comes Kukoc, knocked away away from him by Russell, and even though there's a foul, it's a good thing for Utah because Jordan was the only guy on the other side of half court, and he would have had the slam.
See, that was a tough shot for Stockton to make. Driving to his left. It's hard for him going left. You see they forcing him left again. Harper's bearing down on him, forces him to take a tough reverse layup. And Chicago comes up with the loose ball. Rodman taps it out. Harper comes in and makes up the pass to Kukoc. Now Kukoc is on the line.
The floor, they're so long with the long arms. When there is a loose ball, they automatically have a built-in advantage. Guys like Harper and Pippen and Rodman and Jordan, all things being even close to equal. A 6-point lead. At the line. 5 of 6 free throws in the fourth quarter, including the last 4 in a row. Hugh Evans hands the ball to Brian Russell. Russell into Stockton. Harper on him. The long three is no good. Malone grabs it. Russell has a good look at it. Can't hit. Tipped around. Michaels got it. Chicago may be 48 hours away from a crack at wrapping up its 6th championship on its home floor. On the few open looks you do get, you almost have no chance to win.
Bob, that's a great point because Scotty's roaming around out there and there's going to be opportunities. And remember now that Utah was the 5th best shooting three-point team in the NBA this year.
You know, this is very uncharacteristic. Michael's missing from the line, but Rodman's been the clutch free throw shooter tonight.
Dennis picking Michael up. He manages 1 of 2. Utah uses a timeout.
But you know, Isaiah,
I've seen Rodman perform under every
championship with Dennis Rodman unless Utah can pull out a miracle and win 3 straight games.
You know, Rodman is a free spirit. He's a child in a man's body, and you have to give the Chicago Bulls and his teammates a lot of credit for embracing this type of unique and special individual.
He is a great, great player, and based on his contributions to championships in both Detroit and Chicago, and based on the 7 consecutive rebounding titles and the defensive brilliance, it's very hard to make a case for him not going into the Hall of Fame. They'll just have to cringe when he steps up to the mic for the acceptance speech. Here comes Russell. Utah has only a 20-second timeout remaining. Malone has to shoot the 3, and actually his foot is on the line, so it becomes a 2-pointer, which only cuts the lead to 5. And Stockton fouls Jordan.
Kerr, and tonight the offensive rebound by Rodman. Those things are going to come back to haunt the Utah Jazz in the offseason if they can't win this series.
Just like last 5th title. That's Jordan's 34th point. And now they just play out the final seconds. Hits a 3 at the buzzer. It counts. And Chicago wins it by 4. But whether it's by 4 or by 42, they have won them both at the United Center. Games 3 and 4. And they're poised to finish Utah off on Friday night. Jim Gray is with Dennis Rodman.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Dennis, tell us about those 4 big free throws. Not the guy who usually wants the ball in that situation.
Not at all. I have a bum hand. I got some ligament damage in my thumb, but what the hell, you know, this is all about putting your balls on the line and shoot the basketball, you know. So I did it. I think it's just due because all the things that have been happening to me the last couple of days.
But you do recognize what a catastrophic mistake you made and the disrespect that you showed to your team, don't you?
I don't think it was a mistake. I think, you know, my team apology, but people like the media and the TV people here make it more than what it was, and you know, it wasn't all about that. You know, I didn't do that to embarrass my team and try to get any spotlight here. I can do that any day.
How have you managed to shut Karl Malone down again? You just held him to 1 basket there, and it was right there at the end in the 4th quarter.
That's what I just said. I can't believe out of all basket in the world, he shoot this 3. And you know, I think like I said, I'm more mobile. My agility is a lot better than Luke Longley. He can do anything he wants on Luke, but against me he can't because I got too much heart for him to beat me down there.
You going wrestling tomorrow?
I'm not resting tomorrow. I'm going to go out and
Have a good time.
All right,
let's go over to Michael Jordan, who's with the Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Jim. Michael, if there was ever a time you guys had a chance to let down after Game 3, tonight would have been the time. You didn't do that.
Well, we kind of, we turned the ball over a lot more than we needed to. It wasn't a fluid played game for us, but, our defense held pretty strong down the stretch, and, we turned the ball over in crucial minutes, which is, something that we hadn't done in a while. But, now we just have to go back and work on our game. We saw their adjustments, and their adjustments with the change, from one side to the other side. And once you got a feel for it, our defense began to adjust.
The challenge was there with 3 minutes left to go in the game. You got to feel good about the entire team stepping up at that point.
Yeah, our defense stepped up, and we got some easy baskets.